Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Perhenmo and today I want to ask you a question. Have you heard of Gravity Circuit? I personally did not until late last year, and I find this to be a shame since I'm a huge fan of platformers, specifically the Mega Man X and classic Mega Man series. I played Gravity Circuit for the first time in January of 2025 and I loved it so much I had to make this video. I hope to reach at least one more person that will play this game and have a great time like I did. So in a few moments, I will explain the reasons why I love this game. And of course, I'm going to address some drawbacks, or more like nitpicks as well, right? So let's begin. Now, I personally believe this game is amazing. The level design allows for quick movements or slow ones, depending on your experience with this game. My first playthrough was very slow. I didn't run, I took my time, and I beat the game with just the base speed. But on my second run, I sped through levels using the run button alongside with hook shots and double jumps combination, which makes this game a whole lot more fun. The power-ups and skills are all tied to exploration. Just like Mega Man X, the health and energy upgrades have to be found in their respective stages, and in every stages you can find what's called palettes. The palette changes the color of Gravity Circuit, which is the name of your main character, and offers a different power-up. To give you two examples, one could be an extra air dash, one could be energy projectile when attacking. There is one palette per stage, the rest are unlocked in different ways. There's also booster chips and burst techniques, which are tied to money found in the stages, and the booster chips require rescues. So you really want to save everyone, especially the dogs. Also, the dogs have only been pet by less than 11% of the player base. You monsters. The boss fights are very challenging, but not impossible. The first fight may be very hard, but if you find upgrades along the way, it does get easier. There's no elemental weaknesses like in Mega Man games, so you have to find the boss patterns and adapt your strategy. The training room offers refights for both practice and challenge, of course. The difficulty of the bosses is tied to the difficulty chosen at the start of the game. For the more adventurous players, you may do one of the gauntlets where you fight every boss back to back. Now, you've listened to me talk about the base game of Gravity Circuit, and you may think, well, that's just another Mega Man X clone, but that couldn't be further from the truth. While both are action platformers, that's where the similarities end. You can grab enemy projectiles and launch them back, overkill enemies to send them flying into their allies for chain reactions. You can also utilize burst techniques that adds a layer of strategy, whether it's counterattacks, shields, or multi-hit abilities. Unlike Mega Man X, where range combat is key, I know there's zero in the later games, but we're talking X1, X2, X3 here. Gravity Circuit is all about fast, hard-hitting melee attacks. Punch, kick, and you tear through enemies at your own pace, whether methodically or at breakneck speed. Platforming also pushes a challenge further, integrating a grappling hook and switch mechanics in a way that feels intuitive yet demanding. Now, spikes and pits won't kill you instantly, but they deal significant damage, especially on higher difficulties. So you can't get cocky with this. I learned that the hard way. There is a New Game Plus mode, which I think is the strongest feature in my opinion. It allows you to re-experience the game at any difficulty with everything unlocked. This allows you to not waste too much time in levels, especially if you want to see the end of the game. You can unlock what's left in the New Game Plus. Let's say you found on your first playthrough 3 rescue in one stage. In your New Game Plus, now you only have to find 5 of those. After you beat the game the first time, you unlock modifiers. This, I believe, increases the replayability value quite a lot. It's important to note that the modifiers can be done in a New Game Plus or from a new save file. The Master Levels changes the configuration of every level from the intro to the last level. It also has a lot more pits and spikes, so you have to be ready to master the hook shot, the double jump, and the run button. The Rude Enemies modifier changes every enemy's attack pattern. This also applies to bosses, so relearning the patterns is actually quite a lot of fun. You have the Flip World modifier. This simply makes you play upside down, which is not as simple as it sounds. You have the Single Credit modifier. This makes it so the level has to be cleared deathless. There is the Double Hazards modifier, which makes you take twice the damage from environmental hazards, such as pits and spikes, amongst other things. You have the Iron Circuit modifier, which is essentially our hardcore mode, where death is permanent, and you cannot save the game until the game is cleared. This last one, I believe, is for speedrunners or simply just the best of us. I sadly don't know if the story is good. I play these games like it's Punch-Out, no lore, all hands. You're going to have to play it or read about it if you're interested. If you wish to skip all the text and cinematic, however, you have to go in the options and activate the speedrun mode. This is extremely appreciated in subsequent playthroughs. As you have been able to see, the graphics are retro, but they have a Mega Man Zero kind of feel. I don't care much for graphics, to be honest. I do play a lot of NES games or Super Nintendo games to begin with. Although I do love fan service, I think platformers, retro style graphics are great. Everything is easy to see, the main character and enemies pop out of the background, and when you die in the game, it's your fault. Like I said earlier, you can do any difficulty and any modifier after clearing once, and if you want an extra challenge, you can do no upgrades at all and use the palette that makes the player take extra damage. Now I think the ultimate challenge would be to do a normal playthrough where you pick no health or energy upgrades, but you unlock that palette previously mentioned, the one for extra damage. And then when you replay with all modifiers on and that palette, you must also use no booster chips or burst techniques, of course, and play it on hard. So this is quite the challenge. Now, I've given you my reasons why I believe this game is amazing and you should buy it, but there are some drawbacks. I'm really nitpicking here, I'm not going to lie. And one of the most annoying things I found was that some unlocks have to be done on the first try, or you have to restart the level or the checkpoint, which is a good thing. You can restart at a checkpoint instead of, the start, but you still have to restart at some point. And I found out about the restart at checkpoints late in my second playthrough, so that annoyed me a little bit. But it's also my fault because I didn't explore the menu. Some things can be hard to get also without upgrades, like the double jump or the grip enhancer, that are gonna help you extremely during your first playthrough. Highly recommend those two. Although you can get them without it, sometimes it's a pain more than anything. I did waste 5 minutes on an upgrade where I learned I could have just go forward in the level, use the gimmick in the level, which is a skateboard. But hey, I tried with a hook shot and I did it the hard way, right? That's an achievement. Now, I did mention the game was very difficult at first. That's true. But once you have upgrades, like the double jump, the grip enhancer, more health, levels and boss become much easier. The bosses might give you trouble and some stages as well. We all have that one thing in games that gives us trouble while everyone else finds it easy. Go to hell, Crucible Knights. Now, this next nitpick is personal to me. The flip world makes me motion sick. I can do part of a level upside down, but a whole level or the game, no way, I don't feel good, so I don't recommend it. Next is the hard mode. That to me was a bit of a letdown. It just makes you take more damage. Nothing changes from normal. Although what I wanted comes in the form of the modifiers, so my point is kind of moot. I was expecting different stages in different configurations, different attack patterns for everything, but like I said, root enemies, master levels are going to be what you want. The ultimate palette comes with a big weakness. That palette is just a combination of all the others, but it also includes the one where you take extra damage. So in my book, that's not much of an ultimate. With that being said, I hope you give this game a chance. I personally bought it on sale, so you may wait until then. I rarely buy games at full prices anyway. This game goes on sale often, so give it a shot. And for God's sake, pet the dogs. If you're interested in more content, I upload a monthly compilation of my fails, daily shorts, and a live stream Tuesday to Thursday, as well as Saturday and Sunday at 8:30 a.m. EST. I usually go for 4 hours and I play a lot of different games from different consoles. Come say hi if you want. As for me, I wish you a slimetastic rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.